Texas. Your fusion radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
The program presented are submitted by members of our community and are a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of KNLY 91.1 FM and its affiliates.
Good morning and welcome to today's Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Armani Cassell, and today joining us from Austin is David Kalin from Game Over Video Games, President and CEO.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning. First, I wanted to begin with our show inspiration for today's Entrepreneur, especially with the Game Over Video Games. This will be really interesting to hear. So I'll start off with the introduction and our inspiration. So what inspired you, David, to start Game Over Video Games?
Well, I mean, I was a retail employee, salesperson for a long time. I worked at EB Games as a manager in the early 2000s. They got to the point where they were getting rid of all the classic games, all the cartridges. They started putting them on clearance. They just put them in piles, mark them down to $1 or $2 a piece. We're just getting rid of all that stuff. And basically, you know, I'd always wanted to have my own business, and I thought that's a good opportunity for me. And so I opened a store, one of the early stores dedicated to retro games, and even bought up, a lot of that GameStop stuff and other things from my collection, and put it all together into Game Over Video Games.
That's excellent. Especially from my experience, that's one of my earliest memories from video games was going into a store like that and seeing a big pile of old games and cartridges and looking in there. So that was certainly something I remember from back then, as well as it's interesting to hear how much that changed and part of what inspired you for starting a retro games experience. Since I've noticed the demand for retro games has gone up. I personally have a Nintendo 64 I'm hanging on to, so I'm trying to figure out what to do next. I was also thinking,
those are great.
I was thinking about in terms of the demand too. You mentioned how that's going up as well.
Yeah, it's really funny. I did this mostly because other stores were getting rid of them at the time, and other independent game stores were kind of going out of business, not opening for business at that time. And I just saw it as an opportunity. I love the old games. I wanted to see them live on, and I figured there were at least some people like me out there that just like the old stuff better, and then luckily there were, and it continued to grow and grows to this day. The retro gaming market has gotten bigger every year, and the gaming industry in general has gotten bigger every year. So Game Over has just grown along with that over the past 14 years that we've been in business.
And that's exciting to hear too, in terms of both the demand as well as the actual physical systems get older, maintaining them becomes something to look at as well. And I guess that's one of my questions too, for what do you have available for, I'm thinking about the maintenance of the older systems.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of what we do. There's a lot of people out there that not only love the classic games, but they already have some of them. They may have the machine, may have some old games in a box from their parents' house or stuff they had as a kid. And a lot of times what we do is just figure out ways to get people to play them again. So they have like maybe a machine that's rusted out, they have a controller that's bad, the wires got eaten by the dog or the cat or something over the years, and just don't work well anymore. But yeah, we sell the original games. We clean them, refurbish them, resell them, and as good a working order as they can be, being used games. But we also sell new controllers, new AV cables. There's a lot of new HDMI cables now too for the old system, so you hook it up to a newer TV. And then we also sell, there's many different new consoles you can get that still play the old games. If you have the cartridges, you can stick them in there and still play them. But being a new machine, they work a lot better. They also have HDMI. Some of them have upscaling added features even on them. Um, but yeah, so we sell, buy and sell all that stuff in our stores. So you can go anywhere from, I remember classic games, but I don't have anything anymore. I want to get back into it and get a machine, the controllers, the games, everything. Or you can say, like, I have some things that just maybe don't work so well anymore, and I just need a couple new Nintendo 64 controllers, or I just need, a new AV cable or an HDMI adapter. And we have all that stuff too. So we basically exist to help people to, unload classic games if they're looking to just sell them and get rid of them. But also if you're looking to collect, or if you're looking to get your old stuff working again, we were a great place to buy that stuff, either the entire setup or just whatever parts you need. We can help you if you bring your old stuff in. We can even help you test them and kind of troubleshoot what might be wrong. And a lot of times it is just a cable or a controller or something, and then we'll sell you that, and then you're up and running again.
That's exciting to hear too. In terms of, I have some old controllers myself I had to replace, so things like replacements and stuff like that. That's exciting to hear, both in terms of if you had an old system that maybe you have lost, that you still have those available that you can jump back in. That's an option as well. That's exciting to hear too.
Oh yeah, and it's always great to get that kind of stuff locally too. Obviously you can find just about anything online these days. We have a website ourselves, but it's cool. Like in the Houston area, for example, we have 3 stores there where you can go in person. Sell your stuff, walk out the door with cash. Or if you're looking for the parts, you can definitely just walk in, walk out with a controller. So in that way, it's even faster than Amazon or eBay, because you can walk out 5 minutes later, you have it in your hand.
And it's another more tangible way of seeing the classic game, since a lot of memories are based definitely off of the seeing it physically. And
and it's a lot of fun to come into our stores and just see it all on the shelves. It gives a lot of people really good flashbacks, to the early EB games and GameStop days, or Babbage's, Software, etc., Toys R Us, all those early video game shopping days, where you see that type of game all over the shelves. You see Nintendo games, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, 64. We have all that stuff. So it's really cool just to walk through our stores, even if you don't buy anything. Just walk from front to back and just check it out. It's really fun to just go down memory lane.
Right. You mentioned the Houston stores, and I wanted to go into what events you have. We have our online. We're showing what tournaments you have for September. So I wanted to, get into what you have for October. Now that it's October, I wanted to see what events you had coming up.
Okay, yeah, great. We do events every month in every market that we're in. So the Houston area has at least one event per month put on the Game Over stores. This month in October, we've got 2. On October the 12th, we're doing a Super Smash Brothers Ultimate tournament in our Houston Bay Area store. That one's down going towards Galveston on 45 in the Webster NASA area. And then we have on October 19th, there's a Typing of the Dead tournament. That's at our Houston Central location, which is 59 at Buffalo Speedway. It's just outside of downtown.
Okay. That's great to hear too, in terms of not just going to visit, but you can also participate in tournaments, and that's pretty fun too.
Yeah, it's a great way to get together, meet other retro gamers. I know that one of those is Smash Brothers Ultimate, which is not really retro yet.
But it's
but
still
Smash Brothers, ever since the 64 days, it has a big retro, widespread appeal, really. But Typing the Dead is awesome. Playing that on the Dreamcast keyboard just blows people away.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun. And so, those are free events too. So they're not like high stakes. You have to pay to get in or anything like that. Tournaments. You just walk in the door, sign up, and play. You don't have to pay anything. If you win, you win a prize. But if you don't, you're not out any money or anything. Other than just having a good time, hanging out with other people in the video game store.
That sounds fun. That's really great too, in terms of being able to participate for free too. That's pretty exciting. So you mentioned the Houston stores. There are 3 Houston stores. How many more stores do you have?
Well, overall, we're still a really small chain. We're based in Texas, started in Austin, and we have 13 stores total. 2 are now up in the Washington area around Seattle. But in Texas, we have 2 in the Dallas area, 3 in the Austin area, 3 in the San Antonio area, and then 3 in the Houston area. So we have the Central Houston, on 59. We have one by the Bay Area off of 45, and then one up on the northwest side on 1960, which is about, I think it's about a mile east of Willowbrook Mall, just along 1960 there.
Okay, okay. And I was going to make sure to get the website in as well, and make sure to mention the website as well as for all of those, where you can see all those stores as well as the online presence.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's GameOverVideoGames.com. That's our main website. We sell stuff there too. So if you can't make it to one of the stores, I know Houston is massive, and if even those 3 stores are still kind of far away from where you're at, that's okay. You can go to our website. We ship all orders for a flat fee of $10, or you can do a free in-store pickup at one of our local stores. So you can shop from home, find out what you want, and then the next time you'll be in Central Houston or Northwest Houston on 1960 or wherever you'll be near one of our stores, you can just pick it up there for free.
That's great. And how many? I was going to go back to the inspiration too. How many years ago was that you started Game Over Video Games?
We started in 2005.
Okay.
So I think I worked for EB Games in maybe 2003, 2004 frame, and then after I left that, I wanted to kind of go my own way and start this. And we've been open from 2005. It was just literally just me in one little store in Austin, and now we have 50 employees, 13 stores, and our 14-year anniversary is coming up in about 2 weeks on the 14th of October.
Oh, that's great. So is there anything special planned for the anniversary?
We do. At our first store location in Austin, on the north side of Austin, we're doing a anniversary party. So we're going to have like a live video game music band play. We're going to do free cake, and just I'll be there as like a meet and greet. So anybody that ever wanted to meet, the guy that started Game Over, I'll be there, talking to people and taking pictures and stuff like that. And it'll be a lot of fun. So if you're in the area, in the Austin area, you can definitely check that out. But yeah, like I said, you can always shop online or visit the Houston area stores and support us there as well.
That's exciting. And it's great to hear too in terms of longevity of the business, and especially with the timing and how you're able to get back to fill the demand for retro gaming now that that's coming up. I wanted to get into, I guess, a few trends. I guess what video game trend are you the most excited about lately?
I don't know. I mean, I guess for me, it's just really exciting to see retro gaming continue to gain popularity. Just over the past few years, we've had a lot of the mini consoles come out. The mini Sega Genesis just came out. We've got mini TurboGrafx, mini Nintendo, mini Super Nintendo, all those kind of all-in-one devices, and that kind of whets people's appetite for the classic games. It reminds them of how good they were, how much fun they had playing them, and unfortunately, the games are limited what they have on those. But a lot of times that kind of draws people back into retro, and then they come into one of our stores, and the NES Mini has I think like 50 or 60 games on it, but they actually made 800 NES games. So there's a lot more available that aren't on those devices, and so it kind of gets people back into it, and they come into one of our stores and they're just blown away at how many things there actually are out there in the retro market.
Yeah, and even though those small consoles, they have the games, but they don't have all of them. So you're right.
They're always missing a few, and they always, the controllers, they never really play exactly like the originals.
Okay.
So, but again, that's good for us because it gets people interested, but then they realize the limitations and the glitches and things like that that go with some of those systems, and they decide, I want to get the original. I want to get an actual Nintendo and cartridges, so I can play it just exactly like it used to be back then.
Yeah, because that's one thing I haven't noticed with I haven't begun to play one of the old ones, or I haven't been able to compare the old one versus the new one, so I didn't know that there were certain small differences with how it's originally plays versus what they were able to repackage with the newer ones.
Yeah, most of them are done really well, but it's always just very slight variations.
Okay.
Even if there's like a fraction of a second, say, delay on the controls on some game. Sometimes that's the difference between making a jump and not making a jump, in a game.
Okay, yeah, that definitely does matter. The playing the games. So yeah, I was gonna just to tie it up. We have 14-year anniversary coming up, and you mentioned that there's some events in Houston as well, and with the 3 stores here, and then as well, you can go to GameOverVideoGames.com, and again, I really like the memories, especially from myself personally, back in the early 2000s. This is sort of what reminds me of that time period, so it's really great to see it all come back.
Yeah, no, it's great to, like I said, walk down memory lane. Our store in Central Houston actually has like a museum in it too, where you go to the very back of the store. We have a bunch of consoles and boxes, like the console boxes, the original stuff back on the wall, and you can just kind of see it all laid out real nice back there. And it's really fun to go down memory lane and see all that stuff again, and to reminisce about when you were a kid, what you used to play, and what game stores were like when you shopped them back then, because it's very different now.
Right.
When they have it like GameStop or current market type games, it's more and more digital. There's less and less actual games in the stores. More of it's just kind of toys and filler and other stuff. And, Game Over is still dedicated to selling actual games and actual consoles. And, and as a small business too, it's always nice to support Game Over or stores like Game Over, versus the big chains.
Okay.
Money local. We're Texas-based. We've been in Houston for 10 years. One of the first stores we opened outside of Austin.
That's great.
We've been there for a long time, serving Houston customers, and we love it there.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for coming on to our show today as entrepreneurs, and thanks for all the memories and the options for retro gamers as well. So this is very exciting, and thanks for interviewing again. This is Armani Cassell signing off for today's entrepreneur.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.